We have ice, sand, and snow on At Your Leisure today. I'm Chad Booth. It's a new year, and it's time for you to see what you've been missing in the outdoors. First off, join Ria and me as we ski the best snow on Earth, but at a ski resort that you probably never visited. We'll give you a top-to-bottom tour of the slopes. Then, Steve Human finds himself in Canada at one of the iciest locales we've ever visited. Finally, Reece discovers an eclectic European getaway that, well, doesn't allow pictures, but pretty much everything else. Hey!
Flashback!
Yeah?
I think I just flashed back like 40 years.
Me too. But you know what? It's not because of some magic potion I took. It's because of where we are. Yeah?
Oh my gosh, this is the most wonderful ski resort.
Hi everybody, welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Ria Booth. And we are at Eagle Point out in Beaver, Utah. And I am telling you, we're in the Tusher Mountains.
By the time you're here for your second day, everybody that works here knows you by name.
This is just a really great family-oriented resort.
And yet it's big enough. They've got 47 some odd runs here. So it's enough to give you some variety.
No lift lines.
Easy to difficult. You figure out what you want. Let's find out a little bit about this place.
We have a total of 40 different runs. We have from nice, easy groomed blues and greens to ungroomed off-piste blacks. We don't have a super wide range of extreme skiing in terms of big cliffs or any couloirs, but for a nice, sustained 35-degree black diamond, we have a plethora of that. It's a great beginner's place. It's lots of big, wide open runs with few crowds, so we rarely have collisions. We rarely have congested slopes. And so it's just a great relaxed feeling for a lot of people. There's something magical about this place. It's just a black diamond in the rough, we like to say. It's a beautiful, low population, great skiing quality, and great backcountry opportunities as well.
So as you can see, skiing the slopes is just the tip of the iceberg here over at Eagle Point. There's so much more to do at this resort.
We're going to show you that in a little bit later, but while we're on that subject of icebergs, Ria, I want to talk about a unique sport that Steve Human is about ready to take on in Jasper National Park in Canada.
Whoa!
Just up north of Banff. Let's check it out.
Thanks, guys. I'm Stephen Human. It's an icy time of year, and it doesn't get much icier than where I am right now, Jasper National Park in Alberta, Canada. Now, this is a unique destination in the frozen north that has a bit of what you'd expect and a bit of what you wouldn't. Now, there's obviously world-class skiing and snowmobiling, but I want to take you on a different type of adventure today, one that can only be found in this frozen section of Canada, where the ice reigns supreme.
Western Canada is much like its southern counterpart in the United States, in that it is dominated by the Rocky Mountains. 225 miles west of Edmonton, the Athabasca River Valley cuts a swath through the granite peaks and forms an area of surprising diversity with sheer cliffs and dense forests. This is Jasper National Park, a land of outdoor exploration for every extreme.
The national park itself is 4,200 square miles, and it encompasses a huge area. We're the largest of the Canadian Rockies in Western Canada. Where else can you be where there's just these great mountains, great nature, and friendly people?
The town of Jasper is small, purposely so. It was legislated years ago that the city couldn't grow past a certain size, so if you fall in love with the area and wish to make it your permanent residence, you're going to have to wait for someone to move. Otherwise, you're out of luck. Now, famous Marmot Ski Resort is just 20 miles out of town, and if you want to hit the slopes there, by all means, strap on your skis. For me, though, I wanted something off the beaten path, something different and mysterious. For that, I hit the Maligne Ice Walk. This is a slot canyon, but one incredibly different from what you find in the American Southwest. There's nothing like this anywhere else on Earth.
It is a slot canyon, but it did have a rock top on it. As we look at it, you can see the horizontal lines of the rock. So there was another layer of rock on top of this. And as the last ice age receded 12 to 14,000 years ago, it actually lifted the top off, the last layer off, and exposed this underground river system or karst system.
Now, in the warmer months of the year, that river flows through the canyon all the way to the brim. But in the winter, something interesting happens. It all starts a few miles to the north at Medicine Lake, which feeds the Maligne Canyon.
It's a disappearing lake. It's one of those places, you come here in the winter, you have a look at it, big empty basin, you come back in the summer, massive lake full of water. The average depth change from winter to summer here is about 20 meters or 60 feet.
So in the summer, you can fish and enjoy the water, and in the winter, it's an empty bowl, perfect for snowshoeing. Since the lake drains, the canyon does as well, opening it up to explorers looking to find a world of blue curtains of ice that cover almost every inch of the Slot Canyon. I hooked up with Murray Morgan from the Jasper Adventure Center, and he took me on a tour of this crystalline crevasse.
From on top here, we're going to see the top of the Queen of Maligne and Angel Ice Fall. These are popular places for people to learn to ice climb. And then about 45 minutes after that, we'll be at the bottom having a look up.
Once at the bottom, you walk on solid ice that can change in height up to 12 feet in just a few weeks, depending on temperature swings. Frozen waterfalls cascade over rocks like upside-down castles of ice. Some of the water is still flowing, encased in walls of frozen crystal like it's being kept behind glass. The scale of the ice is immense as it tumbles from the top of the canyon and meets the ground far below. The entire world is white except for the blue of the densest ice that sits foreboding along the canyon walls, just waiting for the first thaw of spring. Places like the Maligne Ice Canyon have an interesting way of changing how you see the surrounding area. We think we know a place as we glance around at the landscape from afar and judge the rocky terrain, but we can't really know anything about what a destination really has to offer until we delve into the hidden recesses and discover what makes it different from everywhere else, what makes it worth exploring in the first place. Here in Jasper, there is plenty of mystery and intrigue. The Maligne Ice Canyon is just the tip of that iceberg.
Well, if you want to make Jasper National Park your next family destination, you're going to need to fly into Edmonton, Alberta, and then you take Canada Highway 16 west, and it's a straight shot into Jasper. It's really easy to find. Now, Edmonton itself also has a lot of great adventures. They have some great snowmobiling, but the thing I found most interesting was actually the West Edmonton Mall. This is a crazy place. You know, it's a mall, but it's kind of like it's a mixture of an amusement park and a summer destination. It's crazy. I'll need to show it off to you sometime because it's a really fun place. Well, I'm Stephen Human for At Your Leisure. We need to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more winter adventure.
Last winter, mountain riders rediscovered the benefits of the 4-stroke power plant. The smooth and predictable throttle response, seemingly never-ending delivery of power and torque, and perhaps most importantly, Yamaha's legendary reliability and durability. Now those coveted attributes are joined by a dramatically improved MTX Mountain series of snowmobiles. The new 2016 SR Viper MTX. World Championship performance, World Championship durability.
It's out there. Something is definitely out there. Whatever it is, it's big. At one point, I swear, we got so close I could smell it. But then, poof, it was gone.
Right.
It exists. The new Honda Pioneer 1000 with the best-in-class engine and 6-speed fully automatic dual-clutch transmission. Pioneer 1000 from Honda.
The Boat Show and Water Sports Expo is here. Shop, compare, and save on hundreds of 2016 boats. It's your best time to buy.
Meet and watch wakeboard pros ride the Rail Jam.
The Boat Show, Thursday, February 11th through Sunday the 14th at the Southtown Expo.
The place to buy new boats and accessories with special show financing.
ABC4 Utah and CW30 invite you to the Boat Show and Water Sports Expo, February 11th through the 14th in Sandy.
The boat show is here, better climb aboard.
Well, welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Darren Kinder, and our product review today is the new Turbo 1000 by Polaris. And this machine has 144 horsepower, so it's got a ton of power to get out there and play in the sand and have a great time. But it's also something that you can use up in the mountains and everywhere else. Let's take a good close look at it. This RZR is absolutely a blast to drive. A lot of times you have to actually put it in four-wheel drive because the back tires are spinning so fast that it needs the front ones hooked in just to keep it moving. And it's really easy to drive. You'd expect some turbo lag, things like that. That's not there at all. The machine just has constant power all the time. With the power steering, the thing is just whipping around with absolutely no struggle at all to drive it. It's a great time out here in the dunes. Now up here in the front end, we have the standard AA arm front suspension, but one of the things they've done on the turbo is they've actually used bigger output shafts on the CV joints and everywhere else, so that way it can handle all that horsepower that they're putting to it. Now up here in the front, it actually has two radiators and a cooling tank, and the second radiator's for the turbo, of course, and they've also put in a pump system to circulate all the fluid from up here in the front all the way back to the motor. Now the rest of the RZR is pretty much the same as the other 1000. You've got your standard 4 doors on the machine, nice seats, tilt wheel, nice gauge, glove box, and your OSB bar. But here in the back, they've changed a few things. They've actually increased the amount of airflow and everything into the clutch system. They've used an upgraded clutch and also a high performance belt on this, all again to take up that 144 horsepower. So they've tried to make this thing as tough and durable as could be so it can be used in any situation, whether you're racing in the desert or rock climbing out at Moab. Now everybody thinks that they just took the 1000 motor and put the turbo on it, and that's not really the case. They came out with a completely different motor for this machine. It's a 925cc motor that they put the turbo on, so that it's actually a little bit smaller, but the reason is so that they could build up the cranks and to build up the cooling system on it so it could really take that turbo and not get any turbo lag. That's the beauty of it, because you can take this out and you wouldn't even know it's a turbo unless you looked under here and saw where it is. Now if you'd like to check out one of these new 1000 turbos, get out to Stedman's in Tooele, and they've got all the different RZRs there to choose from the 570s all the way up to this bad boy, and everything in between. So whether you're looking for a 4-seater or a 2-seater, man, Polaris has all kinds of models, plus they have some new ones coming out. I'm Darren Kinder, we'll see you next time.
Come into Race City today and find the RV that will define your family in 2016. Prices at Race City are the best of the year with our 2015 blowout, where you will never pay MSRP. Drive home this new Cyclone 3418, regularly priced $86,949, but Race City blowout priced at $69,559. That's a monthly payment of $396. Right now is the best time to get into a new RV. Race City RV off Riverdale Road in Roy, racecity.com.
Tucked away just outside of Cedar City, Utah, are two of southern Utah's best-kept secrets, Canaraville Falls and Kolob Canyons. The rare scenic views create beautiful backdrops to capture the perfect selfie. Get your selfie to Canaraville Falls or Kolob Canyons and get in on one of Utah's best-kept secrets. Go to visitcedarcity.com and access your adventure.
In the mountains, there's only one way. Through the tightest trees, steepest climbs, and deepest drifts. And always go higher and further than before.
There's a little place
was raised where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. We are at Eagle Point Lodge Restaurant up here, and I'm telling you, yummy. Oh, yes, please.
So at the grill, you know, a lot of places you go to ski. I remember when I was growing up skiing, you'd go into the grill. They had burgers, they had fries, pretty much it. Man, you can get steaks here, you can get oysters, you can get the sampler plate. I mean, they got really high quality food.
And you know what? This is really uptown. This is absolutely delicious food.
Let's find out what some of the other amenities are when you book your week stay here.
This is our 6th season of operation, and we've got 40 runs, 5 lifts, 2 lodges, and really endless backcountry surrounding us. From our opening day, which this year was December 19th, through the first Sunday in January, we're open every day. So you can do a 1 week, 2 week, however long you want your ski trip to be. After that, we switched to our regular season model, which for us is open every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it's the perfect long weekend getaway from anywhere from northern Utah all the way down to Southern California. In addition to skiing and snowboarding with the 40 runs and the 5 lifts we've got great hiking and snowshoeing around the area. We're right in the center of the Paiute Trail System, so this is a good launching off point for that. We've got a lot of avid snowmobilers who own or rent up at the resort. Our food's great. We've got 2 restaurants. The Outpost Grill is a full-service bar and grill. It's great for the families during the day, table games, board games, televisions, good place to warm up. Our philosophy is that most people work pretty hard to get here. You know, we're not close to a big population center, so we want to make sure that you have an absolutely exceptional experience when you do get here. So we're really going for a really, truly authentic, very high guest service experience where every vertical that we offer, from skiing to food to lodging to real estate, we want really to stand out.
And the last part of our infrastructure tour is, of course, the hot tubs.
Right on the decks, right, you can ski right off the slope and dive right into the hot tubs. And look, yep.
Oh yeah.
They got water in them, and it's hot.
Oh, it's perfect. So you can just hang out here and have a little beverage, and then your family comes in and jumps in.
Yeah.
How fun is that?
Well, almost as much fun as Reece Stein is having right now.
Ooh, where is he?
I'm Reece Stein, at your leisure in, of all places, Copenhagen, Denmark, in one of the most unusual neighborhoods you'll ever see.
Copenhagen is one of the great old European capitals. You may know it best for the statue of the Little Mermaid, or the Mermaid's creator and resident Hans Christian Andersen, or Tivoli Gardens, the world's second oldest amusement park. But across the main canal is a colorful, thriving hippie hangout dating back to 1971, dubbed Freetown Christiana. It is a self-proclaimed semi-autonomous neighborhood of about 850 souls who still live in the age of Aquarius, where marijuana is abundant, visitors are welcome, but cameras are not. Not inside the green zone anyway, with its many aromatic stands offering smoky relaxation. The outside periphery, though, offers a kaleidoscope of psychedelia.
Christiana's awesome. It's like going to a homeless place, but everybody seems happy, and the tourists are happy, and the people living here are happy.
Oddly enough, it's kind of refreshing. There's a lot of marijuana evidence here, but there's also a lot of happy dogs and happy people and friendly. They don't want pictures taken, and they want to live their lives, but they welcome tourists. And so here we are.
In 1971, homeless squatters seeking their particular lifestyle took over this abandoned military base and created what a local writer proclaimed a refuge where all the seekers of peace could have their grand meditation.
Well, it's got this strange mix of the eclectic, because people who don't really have stable homes are living here, but they're living in a very ancient European city with all the ancient European city architecture.
The cannabis trade remains controversial. It was shut down completely in 2004, but has returned and is tolerated by Copenhagen Authority, although hard drugs are not allowed. The Christiana flag reflects the abundance of red and yellow paint left behind by the military. The 3 dots represent the 3 eyes in Christiana.
It kind of shows this strange Danish tolerance for different kinds of people.
Copenhagen has been going strong for 1,000 years. Its long history, architecture, including the 11th century stock exchange with an odd spire of 4 intertwined dragon tails, and its seaside location make it a popular tourist draw for some 5 million overnight guests and another 500,000 cruise ship day trippers. Its mile-long pedestrian mall is one of the longest in Europe and a magnet for shoppers from near and far. The mall ends at Nyhavn, Copenhagen's historic commercial gateway to the world. Today it's lined by brightly colored 17th and 18th century townhouses, crowded bars, cafes, and restaurants. The harbor is now a floating museum of vintage wooden ships. Down the coast a ways, the ultimate Copenhagen icon, the 102-year-old statue of Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid, perched on a boulder just offshore. And as trite and cliché as it may be, you just have to get your picture taken with her. Copenhagen is loaded with neat old buildings, including the Rosenborg Castle, the 17th century royal residence. Now a museum, it houses the majestic throne room guarded by 3 silver lions and the ritzy crown jewels. Marianne may be picking out a new hat. The National Cathedral of Denmark, built Catholic, now Lutheran, is fairly plain. Its modest nave lined with Bertel Thorvaldsen statues of the 12 apostles, minus Judas. And if his altarpiece Jesus looks familiar, maybe it's because you've seen its replica on Salt Lake's Temple Square. The Glyptotek Sculpture Museum features a spectacular collection of ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian art, as well as the complete collection of Degas bronze dancers, and one of the largest collections of Rodin works, including the Burghers of Calais. And the Christiansborg Palace, seat of Denmark's national government, guarded by a couple of tall blondes you might not want to mess with. Just a snippet of the many Copenhagen attractions worth exploring. Bicycles are huge in Copenhagen. A guesstimated 50% of the city's business and school commuters use bikes. They travel over 1 million miles every day on dedicated cycle tracks separated from car traffic lanes by curbs, special traffic lights just for bikes, even ramps to get you up and down steep staircases. A public share program similar to Salt Lake's is available to tourists and allows commuters to hop off mass transit and ride onto a bike. Parking lots are massive and packed. A big part of the Danish lifestyle, biking is healthy, environmentally friendly, and considering that automobiles are taxed at 180%, very economical. Maybe an example for the rest of the world. Reece Stein at your leisure in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Our Trailhead segment today is sponsored by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. That's that great place where you can order all kinds of accessories for your ATV or your motorcycles, and they'll ship it right to your door. Just go to the RockyMountainATVMC.com website.
Have you ever wanted to go on a vacation to Mars? What about a visit to the Old West? Impossible, right? Well, forget what you think is real. In southern Utah's Kane County, other worlds are just an ATV ride away. The Old West lives on in every sunset. From the downtown streets of Little Hollywood to the vistas that have inspired the world. Never find yourself closer to home and yet farther than you've ever been. Southern Utah's Kane County, where anywhere is possible.
The Boat Show and Water Sports Expo is here.
Shop, compare, and save on hundreds of 2016 boats. It's your best time to buy.
Meet and watch wakeboard pros ride the Rail Jam.
The Boat Show, Thursday, February 11th through Sunday the 14th at the Southtown Expo.
The place to buy new boats and accessories with special show financing.
ABC4 Utah and CW30 invite you to the Boat Show and Water Sports Expo, February 11th through the 14th in Sandy.
The boat show is here, better climb aboard.
Are you pushing the limits of riding? Are you holding the steepest side hills? Carving the toughest lines? In the deepest powder? The 2016 Ski-Doo sleds. Are you riding or are you watching? Ski-Doo.
Did you know there's only one remaining OHV trail open to access in all of Salt Lake County? Some believe there are now more closed trails in Utah than there are open trails, and the number is growing significantly each year. In some cases, there are no reasons given for the closures. If this makes you uncomfortable and you want to get educated and involved, go to www.usaall.org and consider joining the fight to keep Utah's public lands open. Brought to you by the Utah Shared Access Alliance.
You can't finish off a ski trip without the Bing Crosby Danny Kaye Memorial Fireplace in the ski lodge, which we've done that now here at Eagle Point. Welcome back to At Your Leisure.
Wow, we've got so much to talk about. We've got some really cool stuff coming up in 2016. We have the Winter 4x4 Jamboree in Hurricane, Utah on January 22nd and 23rd. You don't want to miss that.
Now, it's time for us in our show to do the giveaway, our little sticker contest that we do every week. We've been doing it for years, giving away great prizes. And Ria's on deck for this one because you saw somebody earlier.
I did. This is the Johnson family with this beautiful AYL sticker here and the search and rescue license plate. It's so nice to meet you all, and thanks for watching AYL. Isn't that a beautiful truck?
You guys just won a big gas Camp Chef stove. What a great way to ring in the new year.
Well, right now we're going to take a look at next week's show and one more thing that you've got to do when you come on a ski vacation down here to Beaver, Utah. We'll show you in a second.
Need ideas for some epic adventures in 2016? Well, next week we'll be previewing the first big 4x4 event of the year, taking you on paths of sand, water, and even ice. It's a family destination of immense proportions, and we'll have all the details for you. Then we'll meet the minds behind some of the newest outdoor inventions and find out how they could change your adventures in the coming year. It's all here on AYL in 7 days.
Okay, last thing we said we were going to show you today on the program. Anytime you're in Beaver, whether you're skiing, you're driving through on the freeway, you got to stop at the Cheese Factory right off the freeway because it's the only place in the world you are going to get this. This is squeaky cheese with a jalapeno kick. It is delicious.
You know what? This isn't the first time we've been here for that squeaky cheese.
Not our first cheese rodeo, that's for sure.
That's outstanding. And they have really cute stuff too, like little homemade jam, like this little traffic jam. Is that cute or what?
I've never seen a traffic berry before.
Isn't it cute? And little salt and pepper shakers, and they just have really good ice cream and soups, and it's just hometown comfort.
That's true. So, we've wrapped up our show for today, and remember, as we always tell you, there's adventure around every bend, but it's up to you to get out there and create your own.
We'll see you next time on At Your Leisure.
Well, let's go pay for this.
All right.
So that way you've got the cooling for the turbo, and you also, sorry, look at this camera. Because you're rushing me!
I know, and I'm gonna keep rushing you. Right there.
Now, if you'd like to check one of these razors out, get out to
somewhere. And they've got one right here. Well, welcome back to At Your Leisure. I gotta start again. Little belch there. Okay.
That was almost perfect.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth from At Your Leisure. I hope you just enjoyed the YouTube video that you just watched. Now, remember, we come up with new videos like this every single week, so you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a single story that we have out. Now, you can also share us with all of your friends on social media. Here's how to do it right here. And that way, they can have fun too. If you want detailed information, we of course have our website, AYLTV.com, and from there you can find out which television stations we broadcast on, so you never have to spend a day without your fix of family-oriented outdoor recreation adventure. Plus, don't forget we have really cool contests.